Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
If you'd like to know how to win the battle and not lose the war, this session is for you. We're talking HR with HRMAB this morning as we're rejoined by DAWN LOVELL, who is a training and development coach and specialist. Dawn, we had such a riveting discussion last week. We had to do part two. So let's talk about now, how do we move not to lose the war, but to win the battle?
Wow. Well, good morning, Pearson.
Good morning.
Good morning, Barbados. This is such a wonderful discussion, and I'm so glad we're here to continue it. So, we want to win the battle and not lose the war. First of all, we have to establish what is the outcome that we want. What is it? Because many times we get into battles, but the battle we end up, or we want to win the battle, but is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is the outcome worth it? And there's something in war they call Pyrrhic victories. And many of us, we want to have the victory. Well, no, I won. Well, you know, we had this battle going on and I superseded and I won. A Pyrrhic victory is one where the victory, it comes at such a high cost that it's not even worth it. So you have to ask yourself, in these battles that we're having, what is it that I really want to accomplish? Because many times, even in our personal lives, Person, we're having a conflict with somebody and we want to know that we're right. I'm right. So we want to prove a point. But then at the end of it, how is that affecting the relationship in the long term? How does that affect the family? How is this going to affect your workplace, the organization? How does it affect your teammates? So is it worth it? At the end of the day, you have to look at what are the two opposing views here and where is the common ground? And many people, unfortunately, do not look at it that way because there's some other internal battles they have going on that are causing them to continue with this conflict in looking for an outcome that says, I win. I'm the one in charge. You see what I said? You know, I was right. So these are the things we really have to look at. We got to see whether or not it is really worth the victory. Yeah,
but sometimes for a lot of people, the victory is being the victim. The pity party takes over, and so it's poor me, poor me. You see, I told you, you are the beast because how you victimized me. And as I was listening to you, I was trying to apply this to the work environment, and I keep thinking of appraisals because sometimes there's that conflict between the supervisor and the employee, and oftentimes one feels as if it's unfair because you don't have any measurement to prove. Not to prove, because that's always if I'm going to win the war. But you understand, to substantiate the position you hold. And so being very clear on what you are providing for the discussion can avoid the conflict. Don't you think appraisals are critical to that process? Yes, they are. But I also believe that it's a continuous process. What happens a lot is that one day you hear, okay, well, it's the end of the year, we need to do appraisals. You turn up in your supervisor or manager's office and you're thinking all along, I'm doing a great job, I'm doing my work. And you come in and you might say, oh, well, out of 5, you get a 2. And you're looking at your manager like, what do you mean? I think I'm a 5. How could you think I'm a 2? Immediately there's disparity right there. So there needs to be a constant conversation throughout the year process. Next thing there needs to be is very clear guidelines. Many people do not know, they do not have a clear understanding of what their job is. They don't have a clear understanding of what the objectives are for the team. Where do I fit? What is my role here? What are the outcomes that are expected? And when these are not clarified, particularly early on in your work, in your job, when you're coming into any position, then you're going to have blurred lines and a level of misunderstanding because people are not clear. And I must say though, Pearson, we have to be bold enough to ask the question. Many of us don't ask as workers, as employees, we don't ask questions. What is expected of me in this role? What is the outcomes that you're looking for? So that as I go on, I can measure. Am I reaching this? Do I need help here? Do I need training? Do I have the tools that I need? And these are the conversations that have to be had in organizations, Pearson. Yeah, but as a supervisor, sometimes you feel challenged when your employee challenges you in that kind of way simply because you don't have the answers. Or you don't know how to communicate the responses as well. So talk to the supervisor today about what you see to be their responsibility so that we avoid the conflict but have connection, and that we can win the battle but not lose the war?
Well, I love this question because there's a lot talking about leadership and what is expected of a leader. Many people have not been trained in how to be a leader and how to lead effectively. And many people are in the process of learning. We're all learning. Just because I'm in a position, I might have some leadership tendencies, or, there's certain things that, that I've developed. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be the perfect leader.
Yes.
One, understand that you don't know everything. Two, you have to up your communication skills, Pearson. We have to, if you're going to be in any form of leadership, you have to up your communication skill. You have to learn how to articulate what you want to say. Many times we have people in positions. And another thing I want to kind of segue, we cannot bring our personal into the workspace. Yes, we are human beings and we can't necessarily separate, but we have to learn how to do that. We have to learn how to be emotionally intelligent. And you always say, what does that mean? Have intelligent emotions? No, but regulating them. And when somebody comes to you, you have to be able to bring that person back down to a level of calm. So they may challenge you. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so you have an objection here. Let's talk about it. What is it that you see that's different? What is it that I may be doing that maybe I may not be coming over clearly? What do you need clarity on? Let's talk about this. Again, these are the conversations. Not enough conversations happen in workplaces. You have instructions.
Yes.
Not enough conversation. And that's one of the challenges. And that's where I like to work with people, because I would say to someone, okay, tell me how you said that. And when they say it, usually they don't say it the way they really said it.
That's right.
And a lot, you spoke about this last week, your tone. Your tone has a lot. Because I can say to you, good morning, Pearson, how are you today? And that's a different tone to Mornin.
Yes.
Different.
But I'm going to assess you all the while, Don't think that because today we had a conflict, you come, oh, hi, good morning, Pearson. How are you today? I read that as sweet and syrupy. I might remember last month, when I saw a different beast. And so I think for a lot of people who sit in positions of influence, whether it's a supervisor or managing director even, consistency in your behavior in a good way is going to be absolutely critical if you're going to help to win this war. And win the battle as well, not lose the war. And so don't pretend. That's what I'm trying to get to. Don't pretend. Don't put on the character just for the moment. Let yourself be true to your character. Well, if you understand me.
Yes, I do. And I agree with you, Pearson. But I have another perspective as well. I want people to understand leaders are people too. We hold them to a higher standard, yes. But leaders are people too, and I find sometimes they get a really hard break. I've been in both positions, where I've been in the leadership position and I've been in the subordinate position. I tell myself there's one thing I live by, Pearson, do unto others. If you live by that golden rule, you'll be fine. But I find sometimes there's always a kind of an animosity, one, because the person is a leader, particularly if they were elevated from among.
Yes.
So there's, she's a manager now, so she thinks. But she's trying to carry out her duties. And you need to understand that. So it is a two-pronged approach. Leaders, you have a responsibility to learn and develop yourself as a leader. It's not just about the work. There are other things about you that you have to develop. But also, for the person, your subordinate or whoever, understand that this person is in the process as well. And we can have a conversation. And I'm not purporting to be degrading or what, because some people, they have an issue. So, because they're in position now, they think, well, I can speak to you any way I can, and you must carry out what I say. And that's not right. So you're going to have the battle always. But how do we win this war in the workplace? Making sure that our ideals and our standards for work, we're on the same page. And I be fair.
Yes.
Fair. There's some little words, Pearson. Fair, kind, some little four-letter words that if we would implement them, we would see big results.
I am so glad you went to leaders are people too. Because oftentimes you're seen to be the recipient of all of your stresses, all of your problems, all of your everything, and you're supposed to find solutions. There was one thing I was taught early o'clock in my career in banking at that time, don't bring your monkey into my office and leave it. In other words, come with a solution. as well, because I am no magician. I'm just like you,
Yes.
having to work through my head trying to find a solution. So if you two can come with suggestions, it helps in the process towards a solution. And while I, in the position of authority, might have the authority to sanction,
Correct.
don't assume that I have all the answers.
Correct.
And so in having that relationship, both sides need to be able to understand that about themselves
Yes.
and each other.
Yes.
Dawn, this is so fun. I don't
This is,
wanna
I
make it so-
absolutely love this person.
I'm serious. I would love to work with you because this is fun.
We need to have a discussion.
Because it is so vital to how we handle relationships in the workplace. And I like to say often that the things we're discussing here are things that are also critical to the home. So if you can handle it at home, the likelihood is you can handle it in the office, because the same skill sets apply there as in the office. And so
Yes.
as the human being evolves, it's critical for us to get closer to that emotional intelligence that you're talking about, and how to manage situations as they occur.
Yes.
Not to be accusatory
Yes.
at all,
Yes.
but to see the other person's point of view as equally valid, and open up the conversation for a discussion and understanding of what it is, so you can better respond to what it is that is
Yes,
needed.
Pearson. You know, I was having a conversation with a young lady yesterday, and I said to her, wherever you go, you take you with you. So whether you're home or whether you're at the office, you're taking you with you. So when you go somewhere, you spoke about this, don't pretend. When you go into the office, you're the same person. And eventually, whatever you're carrying, if it's insecurity, if it is that you are on an ego trip, whatever it is, a trauma that you would have dealt with, you have to deal with you. So the human being it doesn't matter if you have a title. Titles, all they do is give you maybe a level of authority.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, Dawn is Dawn. When I leave here, they take this jacket off. I'm going to be Dawn at home. I'm going to be Dawn here. Of course, you adapt according to the
Yes.
circumstances and the situation you're in. But at the end of the day, if we work on being better people, Pearson, if we work on being better people and developing ourselves, wherever we go, our light is going to shine.
Absolutely.
So that's
Dawn, tell her about the
Pearson.
Sayyibat suit here. For real. Listen, if you could be a fly on the wall, where would you want to be?
I was thinking about that, and I think I would want to be somewhere where Elon Musk is.
Really, why?
Because he's a phenomenal human being, and he always have these new advancements and stuff like that. So I would want to know, what is it that he's thinking about next? I would want to be a
like
fly
that.
in that room.
I hope you enjoy the process, indeed. But thank you as
I'd be a
always.
fly, so that doesn't mean I have
that
any
is
part
so
to do
true,
with the process.
So true. Dawn Lovell, who is a training and development specialist, indeed joining us for our conversations with HRMAB as we talk HR. And so we encourage you to adopt and adapt as you go as well. Some of the things that we talked about this morning, and I guarantee you, it's going to make the encounters with those in the office, the encounters with those in your home, far more enriching and enjoyable. That is what we're all asking for, isn't it?
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.